welcome to another episode of From Your Mother's Basement, the show that basically celebrates being a geek. I'm Jason.
And I am the late Michael. Not late as in dead, although kind of interesting as I was an animated corpse. But no, I'm late as in late in time. Hi.
It's all good. Besides, we've had a lot of fun over the past hour just relaxing, hanging out, watching Iron Man from 1966. Yes, there was a cartoon back in the day. Thank you to Nightstar for helping out with, for sharing that.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing. Well, it is May 5th. A lot of people look at this as Cinco de Mayo. But I think this
Revenge of the Fifth.
Yeah,
it's all about the Sith, baby.
Revenge of the Fifth. And I mean, there was always yesterday, which was May 4th, or Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Many people were having Star Wars watch groups all this weekend, and I don't blame them one bit. A lot of stuff going on.
Well, we even have Star Wars news. I mean, we're taking this crap seriously, although we're kind of dark siding it a little bit, but you know,
just a little bit, just a skosh.
That's what we do.
But most people I know consider today Cinco de Drinko because they all get plastered. We need an excuse to get drunk. Why do you need an excuse to get drunk?
Because if you do stupid crap, you can say, hey, it was a holiday. I was following along.
Although, I did come across another iteration of today's holiday that could have only come from Japan.
Oh, no.
Today is, using some wordplay, it's Cinco de Mayo, also known as the first Vocaloid.
Oh, God. Leave it to the Vocaloid crowd to find a way.
Hey, it works. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not knocking it in the slightest. I'm just, yeah, leave it to them to figure it out.
All right. Well, we have a lot of news to talk about tonight, so shall we just jump right into it?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, it seems to be over this past week that a lot of the major movie studios have decided, you know what? We go to these conventions all over the country, and we like to show specific exclusive footage just for that convention. Well, this past week, it just seems like they all decided, you know what? Let's just throw it all, like a legit copy of it, on YouTube. So you guys can actually watch it instead of watching really crappy camera footage. And I give them props for actually going through with this. We have a couple to go through. The first one is actually for the Wolverine. This was actually shown at CinemaCon, and this one just whets my appetite so much more.
Did you wet your pants after watching it? Yeah, your appetite wasn't the only thing that was wet. I admit it.
With that in mind, let's go ahead and start this trailer, shall we?
Go for it. I am so there.
I'm just glad that we finally got some closer looks at the Silver Samurai, which is the Wolverine's I guess biggest enemy, I guess you could say.
I don't know
in this story arc.
I mean, the biggest was always Sabretooth.
Well, I'm saying in this storyline.
Yeah.
To coincide with it, they actually released a new poster, and I really like this design for this poster. It's old school art style design of the Silver Samurai, and it just looks epic. I would not mind having a wall scroll of that. You know, if I can find one,
that is pretty epic.
I will definitely pick that up. That just looks so awesome.
If you get your hands on one of those and you don't grab me one, I will be very unhappy with you. You will make kitties cry.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The other trailer that we're actually going to be streaming right now is actually from Pacific Rim. This is the preview that they showed at WonderCon just a couple of weeks ago in Anaheim. And I unfortunately was not able to go to WonderCon, but I had some friends who did, and they all went to this panel, and they said it was absolutely amazing. Of course, every time you would try to watch, you know, a cam shot of this, one, it looks like crap, and two, it was taken down in a heartbeat. So I'm very happy that Guillermo del Toro and company decided, you know what, we're going to show this in, you know, a legit stream online. This one actually fleshes out the story a little bit more. This is like a 2 minute and 38-second
Well, and that's one of
trailer.
the and that's one of the great things about anything Del Toro does. He is at heart. He's like Joss Whedon. At heart, he's a fan.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing stuff he wants to see as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that Hollywood hasn't tainted him that much.
True. And if Pacific Rim pulls off a major win for him, then hopefully we'll start seeing more people of that caliber and of that
Live action
style.
Gundam, anybody?
Eh,
Live action Macross?
there actually are working
Maybe
on a live action
maybe they'll
Macross movie.
resurrect the live action Ava that's already been pre-production.
Oh, the pre-production stuff from Weta was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Seriously, if this takes off, it may gateway that.
True, but then again, they had to get past the lawsuit that's going on that was announced about 6 months ago. That's still going on between the companies in Japan and the remnants of ADV Films.
Oh, no. For Ava?
Yes,
But Funny's got the title now.
but there's still the lawsuit going on.
Oh,
They got to
geez.
handle the lawsuit before they can go anywhere. But while we discuss that, why don't you guys check out this? I can't even say exclusive anymore. This extended look.
Kick-ass
at-
trailer.
Yes, or Pacific Rim.
Okay, number one, before the reality person in me comes back and says, "Ugh," I want to be able to pilot a giant robot through downtown wherever, dragging a big old ship behind me and whack somebody over the head. That being said, those ships are not structurally designed. That wouldn't actually happen. Okay, that nerd part of me's out.
But come
And
on.
I actually kind of agree with, who was it, AMA, Anime Manga Antagonist, in the chat room. It's very Evangelion-esque.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only thing you're missing is Shinji and Asuka. I mean,
Well, considering like the youngest
the
pilot,
better piloting system, Nikki just yelled at me.
well, the youngest pilot that they've shown so far has got to be in their early 20s. So
Right.
you can't have angsty teenagers piloting these, though that would be.
Especially not as a pair, but it's.
Oh my
But
God!
the point is, but story-wise, it does look. Machines and whacking them on the head. It does very much have an Evangelion feel to it, but it's that, if anything, that makes it as awesome as
Yeah.
you can imagine, because they clearly are putting a lot of effort into this.
I mean, it's Del Toro's homage to the kaiju flicks, from Japan, and of course, we have kaiju's, you have giant mechs, so.
Giant robots, all about the giant freaking robots.
Like
baby.
in the last 30 seconds where just shit hits the fan, you watch it and I'm thinking, wait a minute, was that Mothra that was flying through the air?
I didn't see the moth. I did not see the moth. But what I did, I mean, the thing where it does the big giant ass monkey leap on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next scene is him driving through town with a damn tanker. I mean, that was, oh man,
I
I'm
mean-
looking at that going, that's bad. Because I remember that originally posted. Nikki and I, was it Nikki? Yeah, Nikki put it on her Facebook talking about, I want to walk through town wielding a giant ship as a sword.
I look at this and I go, okay, it's going to be a popcorn flick. Reality and physics and science are going out the door, but it's
Oh, yeah.
going to be freaking cool regardless.
I was, who was I talking with? Yeah, I think it was that one. I basically have said flat out, I'm going to go see this, and I will force people who can't stand to see it in 3D to see it in 3D with me, because this one I actually want to see in 3D.
It just looks so fun. No, I mean, there were other trailers that came out that didn't appeal to showing this as much. Like, I don't know, trailer for Fast and Furious 6. Cool car stunts that don't
see it.
happen in physics.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see it, but I don't know that I'm necessarily going to see it first run. I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of them, muscle cars versus a tank. Should be amusing.
Yeah, it could always be fun. I mean, both of us still need to go see Iron Man 3, so.
Oh, yes. Yes. Speaking of which,
So it's done.
well, let's wait till after we talk about the number 24 first.
Okay,
But
we'll wait then.
when we get there, we'll go into that,
let's
because I really like 26.
let's queue up though our weekly Disney quota, and talk about Star Wars.
Which actually fits with the weekend as well. So there you go.
It does.
We are true fans.
A couple things about Star Wars. First off, the executive producer of the upcoming movie, not to mention, she's also, isn't she the new president of LucasArts? Kathleen
Lucasfilm.
Kennedy? I think so.
Lucasfilm,
Oh, just
not
the
LucasArts.
Lucasfilm, my bad. Thank you. She was quoted in an interview last week stating that essentially she looks at, how many film companies, when they're going to shoot a movie, they like secrecy. They keep everything close to the chest. They don't want to give anything away. They don't want fans snapping photos and throwing them online of the set pieces and whatnot. While that has worked immensely well for starting the hype engine for several movies, Kathleen doesn't feel that way. She's going to go the exact opposite. She wants, like, I won't say 100%, but an unprecedented amount of transparency in terms of the filming and the production and the storyline for Star Wars Episode 7. This could easily bite them back in the ass.
Yeah, because then you get a movie made by fan committee, and that's just not good.
Mm-hmm.
If fans find out the story's going to go this way, and then fans freak the hell out, then they go, oh wait, we better correct it, otherwise the fans will be upset, because all the throat beards are going to be like, oh, you can't do that because Leia has to go have sex with the Wookiee in the corner, and these are the same people who think that the Harrison Ford Wookiee shtick on Jimmy Kimmel was canon. I mean,
she was my wife. No,
she's still coughing up hairballs. I mean,
good times. But yeah, in the interview, she basically states we need to recognize that fans are incredibly important to the process and acknowledge there are things you're going to want to make sure they get to know. So I think that's something we're going to monitor, pay attention to, and think differently about altogether.
If you're introducing new characters, okay, because then you can avoid mistakes like, oh, I don't know, Misa Jar Jar Binks. Because it's all his fault anyway.
Yes.
But if they're doing it to try and prevent another Jar Jar Binks, then fine. But short of getting rid of Step and Fetch It, don't know what to tell you.
True. The other bit of news that came across is more of speculation, but speculation from people who are actually involved in the process of making this movie, namely J.J. Abrams. It seems most likely that I believe one of the best parts of the Star Wars franchise is coming back to score Episode 7.
Yes.
Composer John Williams, the movie composer extraordinaire. Actually met him a few times. Actually have an autograph from him, picture with him.
I'm jealous.
Oh, the guy is amazing.
I've never actually met him.
An incredibly nice guy. Incredibly nice guy.
You're going to hate me when I say what I'm about to say, but okay.
Okay, well, I met him when he was doing a bit with Yo-Yo Ma, so I was able to meet both of them.
Oh,
so
right on.
That was cool.
Well, he conducted the Pops for a while, the Boston Pops.
Boston Pops. I was very sad that I wasn't able to make it to a special charity event that they hosted, I'd say about a few years ago.
Oh, the Star Wars in music?
No, not even that. I'm actually talking about for a charity fundraiser. He conducted, I think, the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra or some orchestra in the LA area at the Shrine. And they did a live performance of the entire soundtrack going along with the movie E.T. playing in the background.
Yeah, that's what I was talking. Oh, with E.T.?
It was E.T.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so pissed I wasn't able to make that.
Because I heard they did that for Star Wars once.
They did that for Star Wars as well, the whole Star Wars experience that they had local last year, and now it's back in the UK, so oh well.
Sure.
But yes, it's looking like John Williams will be coming back to compose music for Star Wars Episode 7, and hopefully beyond. A lot of people thought... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that a lot of people thought that the music was going to be composed by a longtime collaborator with J.J. Abrams, Michael Giacchino. Sorry. He's done amazing work, a lot of video game stuff. He's done a lot of not only film work with J.J. Abrams, but with other people. Like he did the music for The Incredibles.
Hmm.
as well. He was actually questioning an interview if he was going to come in and do the music. And all he states is, all I can tell you is that the thing that excites me most about a new Star Wars film is the possibility of hearing a new John Williams piece. I would much rather hear John Williams' Star Wars score than my music for Star Wars.
Wow.
That's some high praise.
That's pretty impressive. I think okay. I love the Star Wars scores. I love the Indiana score. The ET score was very nice. The problem I have with John Williams, I love his music, I honestly do,
Mm-hmm.
but he's derivative. You listen, and he's not derivative in the sense of, okay, you can tell it's a John Williams piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's, oh, hey, I'm listening to this, and oh, wait, there's a little bit of Star Wars. Oh, wait, there's a little bit of indie. I mean, there are, and I'm not just talking, minor woof type thing,
Mm-hmm.
Small riffs. I mean, I'm talking entire bridges, bars. I mean,
Well,
that
yes,
that,
there
that and not in the same, not even in the same franchise.
Well, to be honest, if you want to jump into this argument, there's actually numerous ideas that are
Mm-hmm.
very popular within the Star Wars sound that actually were, if you look back far enough, blatant rip-offs of some of the world's greatest composers, back in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Well, everything. Yeah, and that, if you want to go that argument, yeah, everything's
yes.
derivative. It's like there are only four. Was it? There's only three actual stories you could ever tell: boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy never had girl or doesn't want girl or something. I mean, there's like not that many stories you can tell.
Mhm.
That being said, I love John Williams' music. The Star Wars soundtrack was the first orchestral soundtrack I ever bought.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, and I bought it on LP when I was 10.
If you still have that, that's worth a crap load of money.
Oh God, I wish I did. I wish I did. Um,
Yeah, it
so,
is. It
like
is.
I said, I love John Williams stuff, but it's derivative.
It is derivative at times, yes, I will admit to that. Then again, I'm also the same type of person who believes there's only two kinds of music in the world, love songs and pirate music, but you
Although
can
someone else
classify
posted-
everything into one of those two categories, love songs and pirate music.
Yeah, kind of. Well, it's like yes, the 2-disc vinyl album. In the gray cover with the white print. HPL was mentioning the thing about, what if something happened to John Williams, who'd you put in his place? Danny Elfman would be fantastic, but Danny's got, I won't say that Danny's derivative, but because he's not really. I mean,
And he
there's certain,
can't read music.
yeah, but goddamn, can he compose it?
Yes.
I mean, there's a definite feel to Danny Elfman's music. I mean, you can hear a
Yes.
Danny Elfman soundtrack and go, that's Danny Elfman, even if he's not reusing the same riffs. It's
Okay.
just there's a tone and a flow to the way Danny does stuff.
I'm trying to hold back because music major, I took
And actually,
years
Danny
of theory on
can-
this stuff, so
Danny can read music, smart ass.
yeah, at the beginning he couldn't. He had to have someone transcribe everything.
At the very beginning, he has since, if I remember correctly, gone and gotten
Yes, he has
degrees in
since,
it.
yes.
So, oh, sorry, was that on camera? But yes, Williams coming back for Star Wars. It's I hold that right up there with bringing back Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill.
Which
Don't
they
get me
all
wrong, I
are.
like Carrie Fisher, but Carrie doesn't have to come back. She's not looking so hot.
CG can do wonderful things nowadays.
That's true. That is true.
All right, should we talk about the big thing that happened over the past weekend?
Oh, that.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Iron
let's,
Man.
please.
Iron Man in the States opening night, they say it garnered I think 68 million. They're
I
on
think that was the
track.
number I heard.
They're on track for 175 to 180 million for this whole weekend, not including international because it was released in other countries well before it came stateside, especially in one country, China. You may have noticed that a lot of new movies have some sort of element tying into Shanghai or some part of of China. And that's because they're tapping into the massive amounts of money that I think the government is offering to these production companies to
To shoot
host
there.
something in China.
Hmm.
Well, with the production of Iron Man 3, not only did they have, a location, but they actually included an additional 4 minutes of extra scenes for the China exclusive version. So you're thinking that should be
So they didn't edit crap out. They actually added stuff in to
Yes.
appease China,
yes,
and China's pissed.
and China's pissed not because of that they added new content, but that the new content sucks.
Oh,
Because
do tell on.
okay, well, there are first off there are characters who Iron Man deals with in these extra scenes. Like there's one that, according to the article in Kotaku, states that Tony Stark makes the announcement that he must go, beat the Mandarin, and the guy goes, "You will not do it alone. You will have all of China supporting you." What? And all these kids going, "Yay!" in the background, and people in China are
Oh
going,
my God!
people are, oh,
They made it a propaganda piece.
everything is either propaganda or advertising. There's actually advertising for two products in the China version.
Iron Man fights Dick Sargent.
No, there is. In China, there's actually two ads that are only shown in China, and one is a Chinese milk commercial. It's, what does Iron Man rely on to revitalize his energy? The answer is Yili milk.
Oh my God! Wow. I honestly figured that China would be pissed that the bad guy is the Mandarin,
Oh, it's not even that. It's just like there's a other thing that
and
Tony
he's
Stark-
not played by a Chinaman. He's played by a British man. You know.
There's another reason that
You know when Gandhi's pissed off. Gandhi got sick of your shit now.
apparently
I'm going
there's
to
a
get Iron Man. Sorry, that was so bad.
it needed to be done. It needed to be done. Apparently there's a scene where Tony Stark has to go to China for an operation, and it can only be done by this one doctor in China. And people in China were like, "We live in China. We don't go to China for medical help. Why would we, Tony Stark?"
Wow, that's awesome.
It's just massive pandering and propaganda. And you would think that they'd be like, "Yes, it's great to have this for our country." And all the Chinese people are like, "Nope."
Well, I'm sure the government signed off on it. Thought, oh, this
Oh,
is
of course.
good, you know. Comrade Disney, Comrade Mickey, Mickey Mouse. You know, it's not Mickey Mouse, it's Mickey Mouse. It's.
I don't know. I
mean,
see that, and it's just hilarious.
Although, while we're on that topic of China and Disney and whatnot, did you hear what opened this week?
Hmm.
In Shanghai Disney, they just opened their version of Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
It's called Mystic Manor.
Mm-hmm.
If you do a search on YouTube, you can find footage of it. There's also a website called Inside the Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I watched the video. It's spoilerific, but it's going to be, what are the odds that I'm actually going to go to Shanghai to ride this thing?
Right.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
Oh yeah, they put a crap load of money into the tech behind it, all the projections,
All brand new projection tech,
all the
new
animatronics.
Yes, they even included the Monkey King,
Mm-hmm.
which is, oh man, it's badass.
Yeah, I've seen the video you're talking about, and it does look massively impressive, especially because I think it's either the monkey itself or the old man behind
the one that
him.
looks like a boo?
Yeah. Is voiced by, I think, Michael Horowitz, I think.
Really?
I thought I read that somewhere. I could be wrong. But yeah.
Because the original Abu was voiced by John Viner.
Right. But yeah, I think it's probably the old guy behind him then. But yeah, it's a cool video. I like the design of the ride.
Yes. Sorry, that just came to mind as we were talking about China and,
Yes.
and the mouse.
Well, speaking of Iron Man, we wanted to talk about his such impressive array of gadgets.
Yes, the Marvel version of Batman.
Yes, he has what at this point 42 different models of his suit.
What happened? Yeah, I want to know what happened to the other 25.
Well, I mean, it was
Because
shown in the
we
trailers
had
what happens with it, but yes.
well, no, because those were the original 7.
Well, those 7 and
Except actually, not the original 7, because the original 1 was in the desert.
mhm,
So you had that one in the desert. You had the silver one, the first silver one rather.
mhm,
You had the one in the end of the movie.
mhm.
Then moved to Iron Man 2. You had the suitcase one. I don't know what the numbers are associated with each. You had the other silver one that got stolen rather blatantly
Mm-hmm.
by the military friend and
Which
became
now becomes War Machine and then Iron Patriot.
Yeah, are these two separate suits?
Well, you have to watch the movie. When I haven't done that either, so.
Where'd the other 25 come from? Oh, wait, there's the one scene where a bajillion of them show up.
Yes, the Iron Legion. But each of them have a specific task or a cool gadget that makes them unique and very helpful. But you know what? Not everything Tony Stark, the character, would throw into these suits, I don't think would be gold. Not everything would be, he touches me. He's not Midas. So I think it'd be cute for us to sit down for a moment and let's brainstorm what we all could come together as the worst,
The lamest Iron Man options.
the most useless gadget you could think of that could be put on an Iron Man suit.
The geranium chopsticks. The fingers are they extend out of the fingers, and he just goes, while he's eating his ramen. And if his ramen gets cold, repulsor heater,
And we're getting some
or
help.
stick a finger in it and it just heats everything up.
As we're getting some help in the chat, Sega fan goes, Apple Maps would be a crappy Iron Man feature.
Apple Maps did me in earlier this week. It's funny. Right, Google Maps didn't help either, but that's beside the point.
The Iron Man fridge magnet to hold his Stark Industry ID badge.
It's a bad idea because it wipes all his credit cards.
HPL, the onboard rice cooker. I kind of like that one, actually.
I kind of like the nuclear-powered Parmesan cheese grater.
A number of things you could possibly think of. I would say he can probably reutilize one of his onboard rockets to instead of firing a projectile device towards an enemy, it would explode a dazzling display of self-promotion of Tony Stark is Iron Man behind him every time he fires it off.
Oh, better yet, holographic projected cape. No wind required. He can just be standing there in a suit and it'll be rippling behind him holographically.
You know what's funny is I could see the character wanting to do that.
Yeah, so could I. I could totally see Stark doing that.
The onboard Keurig.
The one-man band retractable drum horn cymbals. Yes, for Carnival Iron Man. Iron Carney.
Oh man.
Juicer.
To
Yes,
go
you gotta
along,
have the juicer.
yes.
A la fruit fucker.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine the Iron Man version of the Penny Arcade fruit fucker? That would be hilarious.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Oh, those are my dog going crazy. I think it's a tie in with your chopsticks that he has essentially. Oh, I think I'll say it probably on his right hand. It would pop out. It'd be basically like a Swiss Army knife, but it would be like a fork, a spoon.
God, this is rapidly turning into that one Conan O'Brien hero.
It kind of is, actually.
Oh man.
Although I will have to say,
Oh wait. Since we're doing the whole kitchen theme,
oh
we
god,
have the Iron Man apron that unfolds and pops out, and it'll say, kiss the geranium cook. He'll have tongs. He'll have barbecue tongs and a spatula in this hand.
I do like HP on the chat. Paint a suit black and add a tie. The Iron Best Man with dynamic wedding toast generator. Well, given the fact,
wait.
go ahead.
And repulsor fueled rice thrower.
Well, given the fact that with the extremist virus that
No, I never slept with the bride. And the holographic projector that accidentally broadcast footage from the Tony Stark version of a stag party the night before.
Oh man, we can go freaking crazy with all these
Okay,
ideas.
we can go off for a while on this, man. But we're trying to stay within an hour, so we should probably move along.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of great ideas. I enjoy all of them. And
yeah.
I'm just
I wish I
just
could
saw it
draw,
from
because
Sega Fan, an HD DVD player.
That would be a bad idea. That would be a very bad idea.
With the commercial in the background going, Tony Stark approves of the HD DVD quality. You cannot beat that quality.
You know, Prinizawa, I actually thought of that, and I was actually trying to not go there. But yes, you are right. There are all sorts of marital aid ramifications that can be
That's
added
a good
to the
way
suit
of putting it.
for whenever Pepper Potts is just, not in the mood. Or maybe to get her in the mood.
Considering she has her own
toy.
suit.
It's the bright red, of course. Except for the tip, which is gold. Anyway, moving right along.
All right. Okay. Let's move on to away from movies, but let's still talk about tech.
Yes.
And recently we've been talking about several Kickstarters that are going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about the Robotech board game, among others, and there's actually this new one that's called the Case Top. It's kind of an interesting design, and we keep on hearing that, how you have all these handheld devices, your tablets, your phones, your phablets, which are like the 8-inch phones, all those things. And you hear that they're replacing laptops eventually. Well, tablets and smartphones have already killed off one branch of laptops, the netbooks. I don't think anybody actually sells netbooks anymore, do you? I can't think of any.
I think the tablets are what netbooks evolved into.
Yeah,
Stuff like the Surface,
yeah,
the Asus, the one Asus one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more or less what they've mutated into.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, what this company, I forget what they're called. They decided, you know what, we want to create a new dock for your phone. Now, we've heard of this idea before, like you have the Asus Pad phone, which is a phone that has a dock that turns it into a tablet, that has a dock that attaches a keyboard to it, and still runs on the phone hardware. This is kind of similar to it. They are calling it, like I said, the Case Top. What it is a laptop-style dock that you can plug any smartphone into. It doesn't have to be Android. It does not have to be iOS. It can work with a number of different makes and models. And the way this works is that it plugs into the smartphone's processor, graphics engine, and turns the phone screen into a trackpad. In return, you get a screen that's like 11 to 12 inches. It's for the first go around, it's gonna be a 720p display. Second go around is gonna be full 1080. It's a full-size keyboard, stereo speakers. You get an HDMI input, MHL video input, micro USB, audio output, all these, excess bits, plus the equivalent of a 6-cell laptop battery inside. So it's going to charge your phone constantly. It's going to increase the capacity of your phone, 4 to 6-fold. Kind of a cool idea. I'm really digging this idea. Especially the fact that whether you have a BlackBerry, an iPhone, a Galaxy Nexus, whatever, it'll all work with this. Because
that's the part I'm having issue with. I mean, how do you guarantee? First off, Apple's a severely closed architecture.
Mm-hmm.
They are. You want to talk about secrecy of the Star Wars movies? Got nothing on what Apple tries to do.
True.
And the whole universal compatibility thing, while it sounds pretty epic,
Hmm.
I want to know how they're doing it.
From what
I mean,
I
if they're using an Android API, fine, that makes sense. But then you've got the iPhone interfacing. You've got the BlackBerry is actually trying to come back.
mhm,
You've
with the
got
Z10, yeah.
right. You've got the Windows Phone
Hmm.
OS, the Windows 8 Phone OS.
What I'm thinking, and just looking at the picture, let me bring it up again. If you notice, that's an Android device. This is probably the latest Nexus, and then obviously that's
Hmm.
an Android background on the screen itself. What I'm guessing this is because there's no essentially chip on the dock itself. It's utilizing everything on the phone. All
Hmm.
this is doing is mirroring whatever is on your screen onto
Hmm.
this screen, and then using either Bluetooth or through a port on the dock to handle all these other inputs, and not to mention the keyboard. I think that's the way it's working. So it's an
Okay.
extension of everything that you have already on your phone, just in a easier to use laptop configuration. I think it's a
And this
really
is what
cool.
they're building a Kickstarter for this.
Yes.
It's got potential.
It does. I really dig the design. It has a little bit more work to do in terms of how they handle where you put your phone at, because there's a lot of empty space there.
Well, that, and also you're going to be bouncing your hand off it on it,
Hmm.
and then you got screen contact, which
Yeah.
is will screw up where you're going, unless they're turning it into a glide point. Because
Maybe.
that screen for that hookup did not look like a touchscreen. It was the wrong. It was
No,
too matte.
it's not a touch
So
screen.
if it's not a touchscreen, then it may be using your mouse or your phone as the glide point.
Hmm. And honestly, considering what they're asking for and what they say this thing can do, I think it's actually quite reasonable. What they're asking for is $250 for your own case top.
Unit.
Yeah, for your own unit. They started the Kickstarter 3 days ago. They're asking for $300,000. They say that's enough funds to allow them to create a rent of 1,000, plus to handle back end and paying people off and or whatnot. So,
Hmm.
as of right
Paying
now,
people off.
yes, paying people off,
I mean
especially
licensing fees.
especially well, paying people off, licensing fees, same difference. You're paying someone to not sue you.
Okay.
They already have 217 backers. That's pledged over $47,000. That's
Hmm.
for 3 days, and given the fact that it's not like a $5 or $10 item, I think that's pretty good so far.
Oh yeah,
Um,
totally.
I like some of their goals that, even though $300,000 is their base level, if they get up to $350,000, then they'll start accepting bitcoins, and you'll see that just skyrocket at that point. If they
Yeah.
get $500,000, they'll up the screen for the first run to 1080p.
Wow.
And of course, they have some very lofty goals. Like if they get 1.225 million, they'll get a smaller circuit board in there, which means a bigger battery, so you have better battery life. And
Hmm.
the top goal was 3 million, which is okay. Higher numbers have been accomplished on Kickstarter before, but if they get 3 million, they'll turn that 1080p screen into a touchscreen.
Wow.
Yeah. This is
What are they up
very
to currently?
ambitious.
Yeah. No, it's potentially really cool.
Hmm.
It's also potentially a glorified gadget, but I hope they do well. Where are they at currently?
Like I said, 47,000 out of 300,000 with 27 days to go. They have plenty of time. That's what usually happens with Kickstarters. They get a good push at the beginning. It's in the
Hmm.
middle, they low down, and then the last 3 days, they just take off. So
Nice.
I think it's a cool bit of tech out there. I had to, talk about it on the show. So that's out there right now. Just search on Kickstarter for for the case top, and you can donate if you willing to back them. Just quick note, real quick. I give props to Staples. I usually don't buy anything from them, but I give them props for being the first retail company to actually start selling 3D printers. They're going to start selling them in June. It's going to be expensive as all hell. It's not cheap. I mean, it's $1,300 for the 3D printer, but it's a very nice one. They already offer their own high-end 3D printing service called, I think it's called Staples Easy 3D, but you pay them and then send them the files and they'll build it for you. But if you have $1,300, hit up a Staples place this June and pick one up for yourself.
How much?
$1,300.
Ooh.
Which kind of do we want to talk about what you can print? Okay, let's move on to video games then.
Although I found something on the page about what we can print,
Mm-hmm.
completely unrelated. I just see a picture of how bad Steven Seagal's let himself go.
This is true. Yes.
Oh my God, he's fatter than my stepfather was, and that's saying something.
Okay. We're
Let's put
gonna.
this way: my stepfather had the nickname of Fat Jack. Okay.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. All
Sorry.
right. Well, I came across this live stream on Twitch TV yesterday to celebrate Star Wars Day. There is a group called Past to Present Online, and they host a bunch of random MMOs and games that they play. Nothing really huge. Well, they decided in honor of Star Wars Day to stream a game that they happened to get an alpha build of. Yeah, let me just put that there. They were playing the alpha build of Star Wars Battlefront 3 all day. I don't know how in the hell they got access to this, but they were streaming all day, and I watched a good hour of this, and this is all available currently not only on their Twitch TV page, but you can also, I believe, watch it on their YouTube page. I don't think they're probably going to stream this specific game anymore until they get shut down by Disney. But yeah, watching this, I look at it and go, okay, it was really cool to see a game, how far they progressed. Because I really enjoyed the Battlefront series, and to see the third one, it makes me go, okay, I want to play this game. But now it's just for lack of a better phrase, it's a damn cock tease because you can't play this game ever.
I would have said PTs, but okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's. Yeah, the stream's offline, by the way.
Oh yeah, their live stream. They're not streaming anything right now, but you go into their old video stuff, you can actually watch that. But I look at them like, okay, that's cool, but at the same time, come on, man, really? Do you foresee, Michael, like any of these other games, like maybe 1313, might have a similar treatment?
How far? I mean, obviously 1313 was far enough along that they had the engine done.
Yeah.
They had an entire level playable at one point.
Right.
Which means the engine's done, more or less, and then it just becomes content and balancing. So, once you get to that point, I wouldn't call it alpha because you don't have all your content built, but effectively you're just down to building content, and then you got balancing issues. So, I would love to see them bring 1313 back. I'd love to see Battlefront 3 come out, depending on how far along they got, because according to the article, this thing was done, or the build they were highlighting was 8 months before April.
Right.
So, it's definitely pre-alpha, and unless they were sitting around twiddling their thumbs or whatever with their thumbs up their butt for those 8 months, the game has probably progressed quite a bit since that alpha level. Why did Disney pull the plug? I have no flipping idea.
Yeah.
What crack they were smoking. I mean, the game, if the game's that far along, you may as well just let the damn thing finish and then kill all future projects. Anything that's in pre-production, if you're going to do it, I mean, I don't want them to do it at all, but if you're going to do it, if it's in pre-production, kill that. But anything that's actually gotten to a alpha or near alpha stage, or where they've actually finished the engine, let them finish it out, then kill it. Because the only thing you're going to do, the worst case scenario, you lose a little money. It's frickin' Star Wars. It's at least going to make its development.
Yes.
It may not be the, oh my God, it's Jedi Knight, but...
I was wondering if you're going to go down that.
But it's, or oh my God, it's the next KOTOR. It's It may not be, but you're at least going to recoup your development costs.
That's true. Oh well, it was
And
a
that's
little.
my throat beard rant for the moment.
Oh well, yeah. So I would actually follow them on Twitch TV and YouTube to see what else they decide to stream later on. Given the fact that, like we all know, Battlefront 3 was not the only Star Wars game that was canceled. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Moving on to let's talk about some MMOs. I'm actually in an MMO, and I wish I could talk about it. I mean, I can say the name, but I can't talk about.
No, you can't. You're
you
not even
can't?
supposed to.
Okay.
I
am in a
your
beta.
NDA doesn't even allow you to.
Okay, I am in a beta for an MMO, and Michael's in betas for MMOs. Things we like to do.
Michael's in betas all the time. For
Yes.
MMOs.
And it's time
But
for
he's
you.
not in the beta that you're in, and he's very upset that he's
Yeah,
not
I
in the
know.
beta that you're in.
But there is something that all of you can actually join in on a beta for a new MMO. With the launch of Iron Man 3, Disney is celebrating in part by the launch of the open weekend beta project for Marvel Heroes. So instead of the usual beta wait time where you have to sign up for it, you got to be on a waiting list, they'll send you an email, they'll ask you all these questions, and by chance you'll get into it. For this weekend, you just go to marvelheroes.com, create an account, and bam, you're in. Download the client, get ready to play. The open beta is going on right now. It's been going on for the past couple days. It will end tomorrow, I believe, at 1 p.m. So if you wanted to jump into the beta for Marvel Heroes for at least this weekend, hit up marvelheroes.com, head over to, download the client, and you can play all night long and for most of tomorrow for free. And most likely you might be welcome to the other weekend betas coming up probably in the near future. How cool would that be? I need to jump into this one. I'm not into this one yet. Damn. But for those of you who are in another MMO, and the beta, which there's another beta MMO.
Well, the thing on that note, on the Marvel Heroes thing, be warned, it's a 4.5 gig drop.
That's nothing. That's like less than an hour.
I'm just saying, it's okay, I'm in the beta for that one, but they didn't say I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, there you go.
Because they're doing open beta now. They said the embargo lasted until they hit open beta. So, I haven't gotten to play a lot of it. I'm kind of bugged by the fact that they don't let you create your own hero yet. That's the only problem I have with it.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, it's not that bad. But yeah, it's big.
That is true. And hopefully it won't take too much longer before it's out of beta and able to actually be released in a legit copy. Speaking of another...
Aren't they going F2P on that?
I think they're going free to play on Marvel Heroes. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I believe they are. I'm still waiting to hear what happens with the beta for Final Fantasy XIV, because it's still currently in closed beta. We finally got the announcement that it will be released on PC and PS3 this summer, but that's all the information we have. I'm still waiting to hear if it's going to be free to play, if it's going to be subscription.
Oh no, it won't. I guarantee
you don't
it
think
will
so?
not be free to play.
Given
Hell no.
Well, given the fact of all the crap
After the fact that they had to scrap it and effectively start from scratch with only the engine, and then tie it around and redefine the world, and I mean, I was in the beta for Final Fantasy XIV. I was in Final Fantasy XIV for a while. Absolutely beautiful. Great character designs. Typical Squeenix beauty. Gameplay was crap. Quests were crap.
The reason why I believe it'll go free to play for at least the first 6 months.
If you start free to play, you don't start free to play and then go subscription.
Okay, fine.
It's not done.
Given the amount of crap they had to go through to get it to where it's at now in the open beta, in order to try to retain gamer loyalty, I think they would have to go free to play. Either that or an incredibly discounted rate.
Well, I mean, they could do what SWTOR did, where it's generally free to play, but there's a subscription option in conjunction which gives you additional content, higher levels, etc., etc., etc.
Okay.
Although, on the free-to-play MMO scene, back when it first came out, I actually bought a lifetime to it, and I also bought a lifetime on its cousin. And this is every machine I bought a lifetime, every game I bought a lifetime account on has since gone free to play, and it's really annoying.
And what have we learned? Nothing.
And what have we learned is don't buy lifetime accounts on things, because these suckers are going to go free to play eventually. But I recently, because I heard that they were coming out with the first major expansion for it, and that's Star Trek Online. And I pulled it down again. I started playing it and restarted from scratch, and I actually enjoyed it this time. The first time I played it, I mean, I enjoyed it to an extent, but the starship combat was insanely difficult for me.
Oh, okay.
And since they've since gone in and Perfect World Entertainment's basically hosting it now. It's still Cryptic's title, but they partnered with PWE. They also did Cryptic did the same thing with Champions Online, so I may give that another shot, because that's another one I had a lifetime on.
Okay.
That has since gone free to play. But the Star Trek Online was actually a lot of fun. I was actually getting more into it. And it's worth checking out. But they're getting ready to release their first expansion, which is going to be the Romulans. So right now you've got Borg running around, and you can have liberated Borg and whatnot. But you've got basically the way they set the world for Star Trek is for the J.J. Abrams movie, okay? Spock, because of the destruction of Romulus and Remus, gets chased, goes back in time, okay? The world of Star Trek, which starts a whole new timeline.
Yes.
The world of STO is, okay, from the point where Spock leaves, goes forward.
Okay.
So it's the original universe. Romulan sun has blown up, so Romulus and Remus are no more. They are effectively forced to become a somewhat nomadic people, and the Klingons and the Feds end up going into war. So the Klingons and the Feds are at war with each other, and they're about to reintroduce the Romulans.
Okay.
And you can get ships going back all the way, like the original. One of the things I got, because I was on the again part of the lifetime, I bought the collector's edition of it. In fact, there's the box right there. You can get the original Constitution class Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, nice.
That with the old looking nacelles. But and it's a fun game. It really is. And I just nerded out on you for a minute, but that's okay. That's what we do.
Well,
so guess what I've been watching? Not just that.
Well, okay, Michael, what have you been watching?
Oh, we're going to there now? Are we there already?
Oh, yeah. I'll save the last line for right afterwards.
Well, let me see what the last line is again. Hold on. Okay, that is awesome.
As he thinks, what is he watching?
Well, I'm looking at what you did. Okay, so you're skipping 44?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're talking about 47 for your final.
Yes.
Let's do 47, then we'll talk about what we're watching.
Okay.
That way we stay with our format.
Okay, well, then we're just rewind. Speaking of well, speaking of video games and MMOs, it's always nice to know that when you hear your favorite celebrities out there, some people think that they're above the typical fans out there. No, they're gamers just like you and I.
Especially Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's hardcore into WoW.
He has his own
stuff.
video game company.
He has his own video game company, and he actually he geeked out on oh God, what is his name? The guy who hosts Penn and Teller Fool Us. Either way,
Okay.
he was on a UK show and he geeked out about WoW.
Oh, okay. Jonathan Ross.
Yes, thank you, Jonathan Ross.
But we're going to talk about Henry Cavill. He's Superman in the upcoming movie. Well,
You're gonna shit when you find out who Jor-El is.
Yeah, I know exactly who Jor-El is. Yeah,
I can't believe that.
we'll get into that one next week.
Yeah.
But almost missed his chance to play the role of the Man of Steel. He was sitting at home on his computer playing World of Warcraft when his phone rang, and it was Zack Snyder, the director. Well, he looked at it, he looked at his phone and went, well, crap, you can't save World of Warcraft. You can't pause.
Probably like in the middle of a raid or something.
Yeah.
You know? Like, damn it, I have to down Nax.
So he let it go to voicemail, and then he finished his raid or whatever he was doing in WoW, and then called them back, and then he accepted the role. But I just find that funny that here it is, a big time movie star, and he turns down phone calls so he can play WoW. Which makes me wonder, I need to find him on his server, and then...
Yeah, find out which server he's on, find his character, get him to join our guild, move to Rexar, join our guild. We play with Superman, yo.
I wonder if he goes around and going, yeah, don't worry, guys, I got this. Well, what do you got? I'm Superman.
I wonder if he named his character Kal-El.
That was a little bit of just...
I would.
A little bit.
I would.
That's
If I got that gig, I would create a character and name it that just to do it. And to be obnoxious, I'd make it a gnome Death Knight. And name it Kal-El.
That's funny.
Or Mixelplick or something.
All right. As we always wrap things up, Michael, what have you been watching?
We meaning Nikki and I, we marathoned the first disc of Heaven's Memo Pad the other night.
What do you think of it?
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, I like it. I can already see where they're going with a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Like Alice and her assistant.
Yes.
But I was actually kind of surprised that I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do. I want to know where the hell Alice is getting the money for her tech.
Yeah, no kidding. I want that room.
I mean, the girl's either independently wealthy or she's billing people. I mean, oh my God, that setup is incredible.
It is a very sexy setup, yes.
It is. So that's the big thing I've been watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really big on Defiance.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Yeah, I still find it funny that Heaven's Memo Pad is the first time that I ever actually ordered a Blu-ray of a series. Not because I've seen the series before. It was because of watching an expertly crafted AMV.
Mm-hmm.
And it was well worth it. If you guys haven't picked it up, Heaven's Memo Pad, you can get it online on Amazon for I think less than $30 for the entire.
Yeah, for the entire series on Blu-ray, quality transfer.
Oh yeah. Now, question: are you watching English or Japanese?
Japanese, of course.
Okay, I've watched it in both, and to be honest, the English dub isn't that bad. Especially because Alice is
even though it's got Greg Ayres in there.
Alice is the best part of the English dub because it's voiced by Hilary Hagg.
Okay, because I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not a big Greg Ayres fan.
Not that I understand that.
So that's why I genuinely rather prefer the original language just for a variety of things. Not out of any purist. Oh my God, all dubs are crap.
Oh no, not even that. No.
I prefer the original easily.
No, I completely agree with you.
What about you, Jay? What have you been watching?
I've only watched a
Tell
little.
us. Inquiring minds want to know.
They really don't want to know.
Yes, they do.
I only watched a little bit of anime this week. Watched Defiance.
It doesn't have to be just anime.
This is true. But I was watching a crap load of cartoons this week. Like Phineas and Ferb. Which is one of my guilty pleasures.
Yeah, I know it is.
Oh,
I actually watched a couple episodes of that once, and actually I could see why it's your guilty pleasure. It's actually pretty good.
An episode I was just watching just yesterday, because they have so many pop culture references throughout all the episodes. One of the most recent ones was Ocean's 11 near the end, the Bellagio fountain scene where you have all the guys there and they slowly, walk away one by one. They repeated that almost scene for scene in the cartoon.
Nice.
Oh, and it was just like,
nice.
Oh, okay, this is perfect.
On that cartoon-related note, I cannot go. Like, we went to the Nikki and I did the Gumball Rally at Disney yesterday. So it was May the 4th. So you had all the Star Wars fans there.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Gumball Rally, and it was Bats Day, which means the day of the
Bats
Goths
Day.
invade the park. So
That's always a fun day to go to Disney.
Surprisingly, not as many as I expected. Of course, it was pretty warm yesterday, but there were a lot fewer there than I anticipated. But it was a lot of fun. But I cannot go on Soaring California and watch their intro thing before they put you on it.
Hello and welcome to Soaring over California. My name's I know the whole spiel.
You know who the guy is?
Patrick Warburton.
Brock Sampson.
Yeah.
I cannot do that and not hear, okay, I'm like, oh my God, Brock Sampson is telling me how to sit in the seat. I'm Soaring over California. Hey, good go there, kid.
It's cheesy as all hell, but yeah, I can see that.
I can't hear him anymore and not think Brock Sampson.
The guy's in everything. Come on.
Oh yeah, he is. He's great.
He even had a small role in Archer.
Did he do it?
Oh yeah, he had a 3-episode stint as a character in Archer.
Which character?
A brand new character that was brought in to rescue.
Is it season 3?
It's beginning of season 3. Yeah, they're on season 4 now, but oh man, that was great.
Nice.
All right, well, we could talk about this all night. I know we could.
Yes.
But I think it's probably time to wrap this up. Do you have anything to add, Michael, before we wrap this up, or?
We will be having a guest host week after next because I'm going up to the Bay Area to do to help my dad with something.
Okay.
Do we want to announce who the guest host is, or wait till next week to announce it?
I'll wait till next week.
Please don't creep me out.
No, I don't know.
I don't know what she's talking about. Okay, we'll talk about it next week.
As always, you can follow us on our Twitter and Facebook pages underneath. What do you got, some, Michael?
Well, we have a new project that Jason and I officially signed up for.
Yes.
That will be coming in June. More details as we get closer.
And this is not a project
kind
that we're
of
like
poetic.
Oh my God.
Especially looking at your background.
Yeah.
It's just karma is a wonderful thing. That's all I have to say.
And unlike the other projects we've talked about where we actually are working on, this one is getting kickstarted in a fast way. So
yeah, no, this one is definitely happening, and we have a start date. Well, we have a start week.
Yes. We'll give more details as it gets closer.
Yes, as we lock down, basically, all we have to do is put ink on the paper, as it were, and it's a done deal. It will not stop us from doing FMMV. We will still do this. We will still work on our review show. In fact, we've also been working on a 2-minute thing for to help hopefully get on Slice of Sci-Fi maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, so look forward to that. Yeah. Open up your Thursdays. That's all I'm going to say.
And on that note, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Stay tuned for post-show. And on behalf of From Mother's Basement, I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
We'll be right back.